anyone else does join us. Fantastic. So welcome to the Grad Girls webinar series. This is the second webinar that you're attending. The first one was our tech panel that happened a couple of weeks ago, which was fantastic. Some amazing speakers. What you will notice if you do jump onto the events page on the Women for STEM website is all of the Grad Girls webinars are now up there and available for you to access and to log yourself onto it to get tickets for. Now, for those of you that are listening, the passcode or the code that you will use is grads-only, all capitals. So grads-only, all capitals. This will also be communicated out in direct messaging to you if you haven't seen this before, and that will be coming out to you over the next couple of weeks as each of those webinars becomes available. But if you want to get in early and lock those away into your calendars, please feel free to go in and have a look. Bearing in mind, based on the magnet that you got in your welcome kit, these are the webinars. There are 5 wellbeing webinars. Please do try to get to those webinars. They are there for you because what we do know is that young women that go into the workforce after leaving university, you start to forget about yourself and your own well-being. And as my executive coach likes to say, affix your mask first. So if you've ever been on a flight and they tell you when the oxygen mask drops down from the ceiling, put it on your face first. So take care of yourself, because if you cannot take care of yourself, you cannot take care of anybody else. So that wellbeing series is there for your benefit. It isn't there to help with career. It is there for you, just so that we know that you are taking care of yourselves. So welcome to Grad Girls webinar series. I'll get you to move to the next slide for me, Victoria. And I'm going to do an acknowledgement of country. So I'd like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people, who are the traditional custodians of the land with which I meet you on. If you are not meeting in the Wurundjeri people's land, then please do reflect on where you might be joining us today. I'd also like to pay respect to elders, both past and present, of the Kulin Nation, and extend that respect to other Indigenous Australians who may be present on this call. Moving on to our next slide, just going back over Women for STEM. So if you're not aware, this year is a Go Girl year. So if you want to be a volunteer with Go Girl, please make yourself known to the Go Girl team. You can see it on the website and look at Go Girl. It is in August 15th. Is that correct, Victoria, from memory?
That is correct, August the 15th.
August the 15th at Deakin University, and you can be a volunteer there. It is during school, I think through the semester break. So if you really want to help out in the Go Girl space and see the amazing early pipeline talent that is coming through in that space, please do make yourself available for Go Girl. We'd love to see you there. Grad Girls, as you know, is the program with which you join us in. We also have our retained space where we've got What's Hot in Tech and our Importance of Women events. We have a What's Hot in Tech coming up and an Importance of Women event coming up. I will be at both of those, so I'd love to see you there. And then we also have our mentorship program. That's something that you may want to avail yourself to in the years after you finish with Grad Girls and are in the workforce and you're looking for some help or some support from a mentor who can help you with your career aspirations. All right, so let's get started. This is a LinkedIn basics, getting the most out of LinkedIn. I wrote this program a little while ago, but I wanted to take all of my graduates through this because I think it's really important to understand what LinkedIn is and how important it is now becoming when you are in the workforce or trying to get into the workforce. What you're going to find is that recruiters and workplaces, internal recruitment teams will go to LinkedIn and have a look at your profile. Who on the call, and put your hands up if you would like to put your hands up, who linked with me at the Grad Girl kickoff event? I think quite a few of you did. Yeah, Koala, see you there. Some of you did. If you have not linked with me yet, please feel free to do so. If you do not have a LinkedIn profile, it's a good time to get one set up. We won't be talking about the setup of a profile here, but if you need some support with that later, you can always reach out to us. What we're going to be talking about is your personal brand. Who are you and what does that look like on LinkedIn? So, no, that's okay, Victoria. You can go to that next slide for me. That's fantastic. So, what your brand is and how important it is on LinkedIn. Now, if you go to my LinkedIn profile, it will become very clear to you exactly what my brand is. I am CEO for Change. That is my hashtag, and that is the thing that I am most known for. And that is in that change space, not just change management, but organizational change, anything in that space. And I'm also known for diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And you'll see that because most of my posts will all focus on those things that are important to my brand. We're also going to look at post construction. Who is posting up on LinkedIn at the moment? Show of hands, anyone? No? Well, you will excuse me as I do take some sips of some hot tea. It's so that I can continue to talk with you and I don't lose my voice towards the end of this session. Let's see how we go. Posting is really important. It's really scary. But who of you posts on TikTok or on Insta? Does anyone do any posting in those spaces on social media? Show of hands, anybody? While she's doing that, I'm just going to see if anyone else has popped their hands up. No? Okay. Well, this is going to be a really challenging. Oh, so some of you have? Great. Yeah, social media isn't that popular, is it? Like Facebook. Facebook's for the oldies, right? Nobody young is doing Facebook anymore. I hate to say it. I use Facebook because I'm a scuba diver and I communicate with all of my scuba diving friends. And yes, LinkedIn feels more mature and professional. However, LinkedIn is the place that recruiters, internal recruitment teams, and organizations are going to see and learn about you. So it may feel, yes, it does feel a little bit, it feels a little bit, how do I say it? What would be the right term to use without offending anybody? It feels as if people are putting things up there that are of a very, very personal nature to get lots of clicks. Positive and optimistic at times. Yeah, it can. It absolutely can. I think that although I do feel people there are trying to be positive and optimistic when it may not feel as a positive or an optimistic world at the moment. Lots of things are moving and shifting for us. We are going to take it on the positive side, and I'm going to show you how to post or deliver a post and how to construct it, how to get good engagement. What you want to do is do a few posts here and there. Post once a month if you can. It shows decent engagement and it also shows and gets you some following. And what you want to do is show that you are a thought leader. So I'm not going to say to you and suggest to you that you post private things. Post things that are interesting from a corporate perspective. And then engage those individuals that are followers with you. If you follow me, which I think you do because you're connected, please go and have a look at the content that I put up onto LinkedIn. You'll find that it isn't always optimistic. It is challenging, and I do like to be a thought leader and sometimes challenge the status quo. It's okay to do that and not to be afraid to do that. But let's get cracking because I'm mindful of the time. If you have comments, I will see them popping up in the chat. Feel free to put things up there. I want to make this as interactive as possible, but if you're not comfortable doing a post, that is okay. But have a go in this forum about writing something that you might like to write. And then what I'll get you to do is after this session, feel free to send it through to me. I'll have a look at that. Do it as a direct message in LinkedIn itself and say, hey, Mary Beth, I was on your webinar last night, or I've watched the recording of this webinar. Here's a post I've constructed. I'd love your feedback on it. I am more than happy to do that with you. I am always on LinkedIn because people do engage with me quite a lot and quite regularly. All right, let's go to that next slide. So your personal brand is what people will know you for. Okay? Whether that is as a change leader, an innovation leader, a change practitioner, or any other aspect of your professional career, you need to be clear on what this is for you. Now, if you're a graduate and you're not quite sure, what is something that you have learnt during your degree that really resonates for you and you think, yeah, that's something that I would like to get involved in or be known for, something that I'm quite passionate about. It could be I am a data champion. It may be that in that space. It could be that I am a project management champion, or I want to be a great project manager. If your aspiration is to be a leader, then you can have an aspirational brand. It doesn't need to be something that stays with you for the next 20 years. So just remember, ladies, things shift and change so quickly in the career space that you can change your brand and slightly tweak it and let it grow with you. It could be that this is my first brand exploration, and that's my brand. I'm exploring what my brand is. So on LinkedIn, it's important to understand what your brand might be. That is really how you intend on adding value to the individuals that see you on LinkedIn. So think about that. This will enable you to then target your posts and comments to enhance your personal brand. So it's hard to understand what your brand might be, but I'd like you to take this away as an action. Think about what your brand could be. Write it down. And then what we'll do at the end of this is you will have a little bit of a post and you can share that with me as a direct message on LinkedIn. Yes, and Azaria's just asked there, and Azaria, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I recently posted that I'm writing a novel. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I just wrote the final chapter today. So you can all go, oh my God. So it is 90,000 words, and I'm now starting to work on getting a publisher for that novel. But yeah, I decided I wanted to try something new. So it doesn't matter how young you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what degree you're doing currently. It doesn't matter what career you move into. You can always tweak and change your brand, but start thinking about what that could be. Okay? It's just a thought process at the moment. If you come away from this session and go, I haven't got a clue, Mary Beth, then I'm happy to have a bit of a chat with you on that. But let's have a go first. I'd really like you to give it some thought. You are our thought leaders of tomorrow. So think about that. Okay. Can't wait to read it. Thank you so much. You can read my other books. Please feel free. All right, let's go to that next slide. I don't want to bang on about personal brand, but here's some ways that you might look at how do I know what my brand is? If you're uncertain of what your personal brand is, a good place to start is to write your first post. So really think about this. How do you want to add value in your career? How do you want to add value to an organization that you work with? What are those key skills that you've learned that you feel would add value? What are you passionate about? Can you link your passion to your value proposition? Now, I'm going to give you an example of this. I absolutely love scuba diving. I don't know if any of you have tried it. Might be really too scary for some of you. Or some of you may have tried it and said, I don't really like it. I love it. It is my quiet personal space. It is a place I go when I'm underwater, where it is quiet. There's no noise. There's no phones, because you can't really take a phone down with you. I mean, you could try. But basically, it's my quiet place. How do you think I could take that passion to a value proposition? One of the key things about scuba diving is you must take care of the person you're diving with. They're called your diving buddy. My diving buddy is my team. I might dive with a team of divers. So they're my team. And my job as that dive leader is to make sure that they are safe, that they know the direction with which we're swimming, what we're going to see, and how long we're going to dive for. So I have a vision. I take them through the vision of the dive before we do the dive, and then I take them on the dive. Do you see how I've linked a passion to value? Because it's all about leadership and having a vision of where we want someone to go, whether that is at depth when you're diving or whether you're in the office and you're working towards a shared vision. That is how I link my passion for diving into a value proposition. I hope that makes sense for you. So we'll be focusing a little bit on that personal brand. So what I want you to start thinking about is how you might sell that brand, what that might look like. And there is something about having a really good byline. You'll know that by something like, who knows what this byline is? This is a brand. Just do it. Does anyone know what Just Do It? Yeah, well done, Risa. That's right. It's Nike. We all know it, don't we? That's their byline. Just do it. What's yours? Mine is CEO for Change. So start thinking about what could be yours. All right. Now I'm hoping that you've solidly thought about, all right, and you're hoping you're making notes. If you are in the car and you can't make notes right now, remember we're recording this. You can come back to it and do a little bit of work later. There is a bit of homework with this one. Has to be, because I really would love to see some posts from some of you. I don't expect you all to post. I do know that it's quite daunting, but hopefully you'll get a little bit of exposure to posting and it won't be so scary. And if you link me with that post, or at least tag me in your posts, I will always make a comment and share it amongst my network. Okie dokie. Let's go to post construction. So this is now where you're going to have to do a little bit of work. So for those of you that are driving, just think about this. Those of you that are in the car, on the train, just think about this. Those of you that are at your desks and can actually do a little bit of work, here we go. So what we're going to talk about right now is a post. So at the moment, I suspect that some of you have jumped onto LinkedIn already and had a look at some of my posts. If you haven't, feel free to do so. I know you might have multiple screens. You won't offend me if you do pop in and have a look. If you have a look at my posts, I generally start with a compelling opening question or a compelling opening statement. This compelling statement or question is designed to spark immediate interest from the reader. Now, unfortunately, we now live in a society where everything is fast and transactional and quick, quick, quick. So you want to make this really short, sharp, and sweet so that people read it and go, oh, that's interesting. You want to invite the reader to want to read more because that increases the traction that you will get on your post. I am noticing now with LinkedIn, it takes a long time and the algorithm has changed so dramatically and it changes almost on a daily basis. So do not feel perturbed if you put a post up and you only get 400 or 500 views. You only get 10 views, it doesn't matter. It is about posting something. And I'm going to give you the key here. When you post, be consistent. If you say, okay, I'm going to take it upon myself to post once a month, because that's a challenge I'm giving myself, then make sure that you post every single month. Try to post every single month on the same day. Please do not challenge yourself with posting every week or multiple times a week. You are studying. And for some of you, or quite a few of you, you are also working at the same time. Do not post so much that it impacts your work or that it impacts your studies. So what I would recommend is just once a month or once every 2 months, but be consistent. Okay, consistency is the key. You'll notice that I post a couple of times a week. That is because I have been posting for maybe 5 years and doing a lot of that. So a lot of this is for my branding. I don't want you to get too bogged down into trying to post every week. So the challenge, if you choose to accept it, is to do one post off the back of this webinar. And then the second challenge, if you choose to accept that challenge, is to try and post once a month, but be consistent. A simple, opening, compelling question is how you will start this. And the way to seek engagement is to ask a simple closing question. The closing question allows connections or people that are reading your post to respond to it. So you'll see in my post, it'll be, tell me what you think about this. Now, some people will just say, hey, great post, Mary Beth. Love what you say. Some people say, actually, I think this. And I love that engagement, that interaction, because what I'm really hoping for is that people will actually respond to what I'm putting out there, either positively or negatively, doesn't matter, but respond so that I know that they're taking this stuff on board and hearing about it. Too long a question, people won't respond to it. You want responses and interactions against your post, so make it simple. Simple, compelling opening question, a simple closing question. Hopefully that makes some sense to you. So let's go to the next slide, Victoria, because I am mindful of our time. Because I want to show everyone an example. So here's an example of an opening question. Are you taking time for gratitude? As simple, isn't it? It's just a simple opening question. And then it gets people to go, oh, well, that's interesting. What does Mary Beth mean by gratitude? What does that actually mean? And hopefully it will compel them to read on. And then the great closing question. These are my ideas to improve gratitude during times of change. What are yours? Comment below. If you wanted to make it even shorter, how do you express appreciation? And the closing comment or the closing question, how do you express appreciation? So I link the question to the original, I link the closing question to the original opening question so that it closes out the post. What I would like you to do right now is pop in the chat, if you feel comfortable, a simple opening question you might like to ask and what you think the closing question could be. And I'll watch that chat. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. If you don't want to put it in the chat, that's fine. But if someone is courageous enough to pop it in there to share that, I would love to see what you think a simple opening question could be. Remembering that this would be for LinkedIn. And just if I'm just thinking about this right now myself, what Easter eggs do you love at Easter? That's what I would put up right now, because it does not have to be about career. Are you managing your time well? Beautiful, Jitasha. I love that. Do you start your day mindfully? I love that too. Do you take time for self-care? Okay, Jitasha, what's a really good closing question, do you think? How do you mentally prepare for the week? I love this.
Closing
How is...
question.
Yeah, what do you think your closing question could be? So if your opening question is, are you managing your time well?
Mhm.
What would you close that off with? Because you want people to engage with the post. So what would you then ask them?
Then I'll list down my steps that I follow and I'll ask them, do you agree with them? Or comment down below if you follow some other steps.
Beautiful. Do you agree with my steps? Comment below. Love it. It's a question. It loops us back. Oh, I love this. I love this. Who did the coffee one? How was your morning coffee today? I love that. So what I want you all to do, those of you that have popped one in, that's going to be the opening and closing question for your LinkedIn post. Okay? For those of you that aren't quite sure, here are some ideas from your peers. who's this one? Devanshi, are you actively using LinkedIn to grow your professional network? Boom! I love that. Closing question. These are some ways I've used LinkedIn to find new opportunities. What works for you? Love that. Why is hiring junior dev awesome? Who are the juniors that changed your team? I love these. These are brilliant. Are you excited for Melbourne's winter? Heck no. I'm not looking forward to winter at all. Yeah, listen to me. Imagine what I'm going to be like through winter. These are amazing. What's your favorite season? I love summer the most. What about you? These are brilliant. Okay, for all of you, please have a look in the chat. Take some inspiration. I would love to, I'm going to love seeing these posts up on LinkedIn. I would love to see these posts. These are really good posts. And I am more than happy for each of you in your post to say, at Mary Beth, what do you think? Please do that because I will comment and I will be looking out for these tomorrow. Okay, there's some great questions, some great examples. I am loving this. I'm loving the energy. Holy cow. Yeah, you're keeping me invigorated to keep going for the next half an hour. Are you depending on AI too much? Closing question. I think these are some jobs that will be affected. What do you think? Love it. Gabrielle. Hi, Mary Beth. I'd like to ask. You mentioned posting once a month is ideal. In the context of STEM, what kind of post would be most effective for LinkedIn? Should we focus on projects, achievements, thought-provoking questions, or something else? Yes, on all of the above. Once a month, because I don't want you to be bogged down by having to do posts every single month. Certainly when you start in the workplace, ramp it up. Do it once every 2 weeks. See how confident you get. Build your confidence. I can tell you when I did my very first post, I was so scared, like totally freaking out. I remember I said to my coach, oh, I can't do this. I can't post on LinkedIn. No, I'm not going to do that. And she said to me, what's the worst thing that could happen? She said, if you don't like what you see, you can take the post down. And I thought, oh, I can. She said, of course. You can just delete the post. I was like, I didn't realize. I thought once it's up there forever. But no, I could delete it. And so that gave me that sense of confidence that if I really upset people, and that was what it was, I didn't want to upset people. What I've learned over the last 8 years of posting, you're never going to get the approval from 100% of people all the time. I want to be a thought leader. I want to put things out there that might be a bit contentious. I want people to really think about what it is that I'm posting. It's really important. I want to have a voice. This is a place where I can have a voice in a career perspective. And I want to have that voice. I want to take my seat at the table on LinkedIn, and that's what I'm doing. So is it daunting and scary? Yeah. Sometimes I put stuff up there and think, ooh, I don't know how this is going to be perceived. Sometimes it falls completely flat, but you know what? That's okay. Sometimes it goes crazy and I just think, why? And that's also okay. But the key is to be consistent. So Gabrielle, the reason I say once a month at this stage, because I don't want you to get overburdened with this. I don't want you to feel pressured to do this, but it's about consistency. How do I overcome the fear of posting on LinkedIn? I just put something up there and I just push through. It's really that simple. You're never going to get very far in life if you're too afraid to ask to ask the question. The answer is always going to be no if you never ask the question. So ask the question. You really do need to make your way in the world, and women in STEM, it's a lot harder for us. I hate to say it. I like to think that we're shifting the dial, but we're shifting it too slowly. And so in order for us to take our power back, we have to be leaning into the fear sometimes. I can't tell you how you will overcome that fear. All I can say is if you keep doing it, you become a little bit more desensitized to it. The very first time you post is very, very scary. But know that you have at least 130 grads in this program, as well as me and our entire executive team who are there for you. So when you put that very first post up, let me know and I will share it and I will make sure that it goes as well as it possibly can. and know that you've got support with Women for STEM. Okay? Let's keep moving on. Let's go on to the next slide. So now you've got your opening and your closing question. Great. So what are we going to put in the middle of it? This is the body of the post. So we've got some really strong opening questions, some really strong closing questions. So what should we put in the body of the post? Statistics or quotes, they help to validate your opinion. So if you've got some things in there, you've got some statistics or quotes, you can throw those in. You don't have to, but you can. You can put in what you've learned because it's what you have learned. You don't need to put a statistic against what you've learned because it's what you've done. But if you are quoting someone else, you can put that in there. Stats, people like statistics. If you're in the data space, you will know that people love data. Images and infographics, they attract attention. So a graphical representation of something, putting up a PowerPoint presentation that's got, 3 or 4 slides in it. People like that. They like to click through if it's interesting. Write authentically and write with passion. Write about your experience. Your experience is authentic to you. So when you read about the stuff that I post, when you look at the videos that I post, they're authentic. It's me. You've met me now. You actually know that when you see a post with Mary Beth and a video, oh, that's Mary Beth. It's absolutely her because we've met her. We've seen her. We know that that is her. Who I am when you meet me is who I am on LinkedIn. I can't be anybody else. You cannot be anybody else. So be your brilliant, bright, engaging, intelligent women that you are. Be authentic to you and write with passion because that is what people will respond to on LinkedIn. Link to other articles. Now, here's a get out of jail free card for all of you. If you want to do a post and you're thinking to yourself, I'm not comfortable writing this, what you can do is if you see a post that you really like, as an example, you could look at one of my posts. Say you like the post that I've done about the novel, writing the novel. You can share that and write your own comments to it. Again, start with your opening. And one of my cats has just joined. So if you've seen the door open, it is not ghosts in my house. It is my cat. I'm not sure which one. Oh, it's Logan. So you will see Logan. He will probably go and sit on the lounge back there after he bites my ankles because that's what he likes to do. And you may even hear him meow a little bit because he just wants some attention. Oh no, he's just left the room. You will see my cats come and go. So what I was saying is, if you want to share one of my posts or somebody else in your network's post, share it with a comment, but start it with an opening question, put a few statements in there, and then add a closing question. You can share their post. So that's linking to somebody else's. Add some thoughts about that. If you read someone's post and go, man, that's just mind-blowing. I want to share that in my network. Do it. That is great. So that could be your once a month thing. You might sit back and go, you know what? Don't feel comfortable writing all of my own posts, but I'm going to put a posting calendar together. Once a month, I'm going to post one for me, and then the next month I'm going to share somebody else's. You could share a post from Women for STEM. Okay, you could share a Grad Girls post. It does not have to be all of your own content. So do not see this as an arduous process. Use it to your advantage. And then you can write about personal experiences that show your human side. Now, the caveat on this one. I see a lot of people on LinkedIn posting very, very personal things. I personally will not do that. I absolutely have my professional side and my personal side. I don't like to mishmash those together. It is entirely up to you how you wish to post. But for me, I like to just be on the professional side. I don't like that clickbait idea. So up to you. You can write about a personal experience, and I do write about personal experience, but you will see that I always link them back to leadership in some way, link them back to that thought leadership in some way. Personal things to post. Unfortunately, I do see a lot of, excuse me, I do see a lot of individuals posting about potentially a death in the family, a very sick child, a sick partner. And I won't post about those sorts of things. They are just too personal for me. It is completely up to you what you wish to post. But for me, and it is my opinion only, I don't post on those really personal things. So that's the sort of stuff I won't post on. Does that make sense? So, posts, how long should they be? Posts don't need to be, like, they can take up to 3,000 characters, but they don't need to be that long. They can be short, sharp, and sweet. Just remember that people get bored really easily. So unless you're really interesting in your post, you might lose them if it's too long. You can put little emojis in, but not too many. If you use AI has some tells, and people know when you've used AI. I tend to not use AI. I don't even use it to change the language. I don't use it to make it more grammatically perfect because I'm not grammatically perfect. Needs to come from me. So it can't be perfect all the time. And so AI has its place. I tend to not use it so much. If you wish to use it, see how you go. It might make the things that you write a little bit better. It's up to you. I'm not going to tell you don't use it or do use it. It's really a personal preference there. But just remember attention spans. People have very short attention spans, short, sharp, sweet. They'll read that quickly and they might comment and like it. So you'll get more engagement with that. Most readers scroll through about 60% of an article. So it does say to me that they'll only read the sort of top bit and they might not even get to the bottom. So again, short, sharp, and sweet. Most users spend 20 to 28%. They'll read 20 to 20%, 20 to 28% of the words of an average post. So the fewer words, the better. And then articles that are shared are not necessarily shared in depth. So people might read the first 3 sentences of an article and then share it along because that's all that they've had time to read, but that was interesting enough for them to want to share it. So just remember, the first 10 seconds is when somebody sees a post. That's why that opening compelling question is really important. The one that was about coffee, I love that. Everyone drinks coffee, right? Well, most people drink coffee. What was your favorite coffee? What's your favorite coffee? Or what's the coffee that gets you past the 3 p.m. doldrums? Everyone at 3 p.m. you sort of start to get really tired. Do you want to drink a coffee then? And if so, what is it? So there's lots of ways you can take some of these and really explore. What you could do is if you really like coffee, you could do 5 posts all about different sorts of coffees and coffee experiences and make it sort of like a little serial. You can do so many things with LinkedIn and make it fun. And then finally, on here, you've noticed here that I put lists. When you're listing on LinkedIn, odd numbers. People like odd numbers. And so 3, 5, 7, you're going to put something. So there was that lovely question about mindfulness or well-being. 3, 5, or 7. If you're going to put in, some tips. Want to keep it nice and short? 3. 3 things I learned. 3 things I learned having my coffee this morning. Whatever you think that might be. How was your morning coffee today? Which was Amia, she put that up there. How was your morning coffee today? Mine was fantastic because 1, 2, 3. It had just enough broth. I mean, you can dissect your coffee and people would love that because I don't know about you, but sometimes I will sit and dissect a coffee and wonder how amazing it is. So with your LinkedIn, the body of your posts, list 3, 5, or 7. So let's go to the next slide. Let me show you some lists. So here are my 5 simple steps to improve your gratitude practice. As an example, number 1, regularly set time aside to think about what you're grateful for. Number 2, write down all you are grateful for in your gratitude journal. Number 3, take time to read previous entries when you feel the need for an instant pick-me-up. Number 4, share the things you're grateful for with your significant other, family, member, or friends. The act of sharing helps to reinforce what is truly important. Or number 5, volunteer time to associations or not-for-profit organisations that resonate for you. Giving back helps you support others, also makes you feel good. So that's an idea of a post with lists in it. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because what am I going to ask you to do now? So for each of you that gave me that compelling opening question, I want you to write in the chat what your opening question was, and then 1 or 2 sentences. And it can either be a list of a couple of things, or it could be a couple of questions that you want. I'm going to give you a few minutes. I want to see it in the chat, because what I'm hoping for is that for those of you that are really engaging with this, you're actually starting to build your post that you can maybe put up tomorrow. I know some of you are sitting there going, oh my, I'm not going to be putting a post up tomorrow, Marybeth. It's okay. Oh, I can't wait to see these. I'm really excited by the person who put coffee up, the coffee one. I reckon you've got some really good stuff there. Don't forget, on LinkedIn, don't have to use lists. You can also use a survey. So the person who's put up there, where is that now? I'm looking. What's your favorite season? Right? What's your favorite season? You could put all 4 seasons and get people to vote. And then once you've done a voting thing, you can go back the following month and have that vote open for a month, and then go back the following month and say, and here are the results. So there's so many easy, simple things you can do without really doing too much on LinkedIn and without putting too much of yourself out there, especially when you're feeling a little bit uncertain. But surveys are great. They're easy to do. I love this one, Azaria, with how do you mentally prepare yourself for the week? You could do a three simple points there, 3 simple steps to how you prepare yourself. I know how I mentally prepare myself. If I were to really think about that, I actually do it via, and not just for the work week, but I do this just so that I'm mentally prepared for the week. I do a shopping list. I actually do a menu of what I'm going to eat for the whole week, and I do my shopping list against that. That's how I start to prepare for my week. I know that sounds really strange, but what it does do is it gives me a sense of control over what I am purchasing, what I'm going to be cooking, and I kind of know what I'm going to do each day. So it makes it one less decision that I have to make in amongst the thousands of decisions I have to make every day. I have a menu. I have all of the food that I need to prepare the menus. So I don't actually have to think about that. All I need to think about is, did I take that bit of something out of the freezer to be able to make that for that meal that day? It's quite liberating when you don't have to think about that. For those of you on the call that might have kids at home, or you have to help support the family by doing the cooking at home, really makes it a lot easier if you don't have to think about what you need to cook that night because you did the menu plan at the start of the week. So that's one thing that I do. Azaria, I'm loving some of the questions that we had. Oh, okay. Opening question. Here we go. How much time do you spend for self-care? It can be hard to give time to yourself in busy schedule, but something as simple as meditation can help. I love that. Self-help can also be as simple as spending time with your family, friends, or even going to the gym. Yes, I like to go to the gym every morning as it helps me stay mentally and physically fit. Let me know your way of self-help in the comments. Love that. What's holding you back from traveling? That's a great question. Here's 3 traveling things that can help. Let me know where you're planning. Where you're planning to travel next. I love that. So it'd be good to see what those 3 things are in your post tomorrow, Ishrat, if you're feeling confident. Here are my 5 reasons that I love summer the most. I can go free diving without the wetsuit. Yes. Anyone else free dive? Free diving is amazing. Scares the pants off of me. I've seen some free divers do some crazy stuff. Get a tan, yes. Ice cream all the time. When I went to Italy with my son, we decided that a gelati a day kept the doctor away. And so we would have a gelati every day in Italy, and it was amazing. Opening question, are you managing your time well? Jitasha, I love it. It's something we all struggle with at times. Here are 3 things I do to manage my time better. I write down 3 top priorities every morning to stay focused on what really matters. Love it. I allocate specific hours for study, work, breaks, and even downtime. Helps me stay consistent without burning out. I silence notifications during deep work and reward myself after focus sessions. That's great. I love that. I must do that because I got to tell you, I have an Apple Watch. It has the haptic notification thing, and I do the same. I actually put it on the cinema mode so that it doesn't go buzz, buzz, buzz until every day. Let's learn from each other. Let me know what best works for you. That is the start of an amazing post. LinkedIn just isn't a digital resume anymore. It's a launchpad for opportunity, growth, and connection. But let's be honest, are you actively building your brand here or just watching others do it? Loving this. I love that. Are you using LinkedIn for yes, that is great. What I would say there is a great opening question or statement. LinkedIn isn't just a digital resume anymore. Full stop. Is it? Question mark. That's a great way to be really strong and start. And then you start into the body of it. How is your morning coffee today? These are the ways I like to pair up my coffee. Oh, I love it. They're great. I look forward to some of these posts tomorrow. They're going to be awesome. The hook statement always attracts people to the post. You're absolutely right. Oh, I love that. Now, this is one that June has popped in here, which is a personal thing. Have you ever joined the Songkran Festival? I don't know if I've said that correctly, June, but you can correct me. It's in Thailand. The things that you need to try once time is to try is water splashing and having some foods that help cooling down the summer season. I love this. I love this closing question. And how to love to know your experience. I love that. So there's some great post potential here in the chat. Please make sure you're copying your post. If you're not certain, I'm sure that you can steal with pride somebody else's idea, but make it your own. Please make it your own. All right. So now let's look at the power of the hashtag. This is our next slide, Victoria. We've got about 10 minutes to go. And I've got about hopefully 10 minutes worth of voice left. Hashtags used to be a great enabler of better interaction with LinkedIn. It is slightly changing in the algorithm. So what I've said here is the sweet spot. Sorry, has somebody just come off mute? I might just get you to mute yourself there. Or Victoria, thank you so much. LinkedIn has changed the algorithm somewhat, and sometimes it likes sometimes it likes hashtags, sometimes it doesn't. What I'm going to say to you is this: if you're going to use hashtags as part of your post, don't use any more than 5. The first 3, whoever's there that's off mute, thank you. The first 3, relate them to your post. The last 3, relate them to your brand. You don't have to use hashtags. I do sometimes, I don't at other times. Use them sparingly. You can do some A/B testing. So for those of you that understand what A/B testing is, if you don't, let me explain. A/B testing is where you will put a post up using a particular idea. So post A will have 5 hashtags. Post B will be the same post, but it will be with no hashtags. You can do that, put the post up for a couple of days and see what it looks like with the hashtags. What sort of engagement are you getting? Then change the post and remove the hashtags. See if that improves your post's interaction and potential. Hashtags are really something that LinkedIn is sort of likes, doesn't like, likes, doesn't like. It keeps changing. The algorithm keeps changing. At the time of writing this was what it looked like. Those are an example of the hashtags that I use. You'll notice that I use hashtags that relate to the posts, leadership, transformation, well-being, but then I also use those last ones to relate to my brand, CIO for Change, which was my brand before I changed it to CEO for Change. And Mary Beth Hosking is also my brand. So what I would suggest to you is have a go, pop in 1 or 2. If it doesn't work for you, don't use them at all. This is just something else that is part of the post construction. The next slide shows you just some additional hashtags which you may want to use. And the reason that I chose those particular hashtags is because they've got a lot of followers. So if you use that particular hashtag, leadership, it's got over 2 million followers. If you use transformation, it has 51,000 followers. If you have well-being, it uses 102,000 followers. How do you find out how many followers a hashtag has? In the search function of LinkedIn, put the hashtag with the word after it. So hashtag leadership will actually show you when you hit enter how many followers that particular hashtag has. So let's go to the next slide. And so now you've written a compelling opening question, and some of you have shared that with us, and I love, love, love it. You've got your compelling opening question. You've got the body of your post done. So you either put in a couple of, you've popped in there some, either a survey you've decided to do, or you've put in a list, which is either 3, 5, or 7. And you've got your compelling closing question. And if you want to, you've added some hashtags. It is important to space it out. So after every sentence or at the end of a period or a line, pop in a space. This will make your post easier to read. People will be more inclined to read it. The post won't look too bunched up and hurried. So don't just put in a full block of text, break it up a little bit. Some things to know with LinkedIn. It is a professional networking platform. So it presents unique opportunities for video content. Some of you might decide to do a video. Some of you might be going, I'm not doing a video at all, Mary Beth. Oh, no, 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 no. But maybe in a year's time you will. But you can upload videos directly to LinkedIn. And they love that. If you do a video on your phone and then link and put it up on LinkedIn, LinkedIn loves that. So that native video functionality is there and it's available, and you can do that. Just make sure that the length of video is quite short, 30 seconds, 40 seconds at the most. And 40 seconds might seem like a really long time, but trust me, when you have to record something and you can't make any breaks, 40 seconds is a long time to talk and not make a mistake in. Trust me, because I have done videos where it's taken over 100 takes to do a video. Obviously, my voice was in much better shape than it is tonight. Educational content. LinkedIn loves that sort of instructional how-to videos stuff. So if you want to do something like that, you'll get a lot more engagement. It loves storytelling. So tell a story, right? So when I say tell a story, personal experience. So the one I'm talking about when I'm talking about writing a new book or writing a novel, which I have to say is very, very daunting, people. Very scary indeed. Personal branding and thought leadership. If you do videos in that space, LinkedIn loves it. It loves product demonstrations, those sorts of things, testimonials and case studies. So these are all just ideas for you when we talk about video engagement. Thank you, Victoria. I'm running out of time. So finally, your post's in good shape. They're looking really good on screen to me already. So there are some times when it's good to post. When to post. And this is indicative of what's happening with the algorithm at the moment. Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday between 8 and 10 a.m. If you put your post up there, you'll get greater engagement. What I want you to do, though, is to seek support. So, Grad Girls, we are your cheer squad. So if you want to put a post up tomorrow or in the next couple of weeks, please copy that link and send it to me in a direct message. Let me know that you've put it up and let me know. And you can also tag me in that. So just at Mary Beth Hosking, MBT. You can tag me in the post and that will come up into my notifications as well. But if you want to put up a post, and I love some of these posts that you've got up here, please put some up there. Send it to me as a direct message and I will absolutely like, share, and comment on your post. All right, next slide is really for you to have a go. So now you know when to post. Now you know sort of what to post. And you know that you're already linked with me. Victoria, stop the slide pack for me. We've got a couple of minutes. Does anyone want to ask me a direct question, not just in the chat? Do you want to just come off of mute and ask me a question about anything that you've learned tonight? And I'm happy to answer anything. If you don't want to ask me directly, you can pop it in the chat. We've got 2 minutes before I love you and let you all go. Did it make sense? Thumbs up. Who's going to post tomorrow? Thumbs up on screen. Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 posts tomorrow that I should be looking out for. Any 5? Excellent. You can, yeah. Who's gonna post in the next couple of weeks? So let's not make it too daunting for you. Again, if you're not sure and you think, oh, I'm not quite sure whether I should post this or not, send it to me in a direct message and I'll have a look at it. And I'll say, yeah, that's fantastic. Or maybe you should consider doing this or that. Okay. But in the next, let's make it the next 4 weeks before the next video, the next webinar that we run or something like that. So in the chat right here, right now, I am putting in the code. That is the code for all the webinars. You can use that. Please feel free to jump onto our website. You will see all of the webinars listed. You can choose the ones you want to go to. That is us. This session has been recorded. Victoria, we will be putting this up onto our YouTube channel and sharing that amongst all of the grads. That's right, isn't it, Victoria?
That is correct.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you've learned something. I hope you feel a little bit more confident. If you're not confident, reach out to me, let me know. But the stuff that I'm seeing on screen tells me that you're all going to be expert within the next couple of months. Take your seat at the table. Own it. Own what it is that you do. You are all amazing young women and you all deserve your seat at the corporate table. I look forward to seeing these posts and I look forward to seeing you at the next Grad Girls event and on the next webinar. Thank you all. Take care.